Hello guys, welcome again to mathematics learning video with me, Miss Diana. Okay, in this learning video, we're gonna cover how to derive the quadratic formula. Are you familiar with the quadratic formula? This is the quadratic formula: x equals to minus b, positive and minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Okay, before we go ahead to use this formula, actually we're gonna see how to derive this formula. Okay, actually this is the third method how to solve the quadratic equation, because from the previous video we have learned about the factorization. That is the first way how to factorize the quadratic equation, and then the second way is about completing the square. We also have learned it in the previous video, so if you are interested with the completing the square, or if you have not learned about the completing the square, you can check the previous video in this YouTube channel. And particularly in this video, we're gonna use that completing the square method to derive this formula. Okay, now the first thing first, we have to write in the standard form of the quadratic equation. The standard form of the quadratic equation is ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. As what we have learned before, we need to make sure that a equals 1. How to make sure a equals to 1? By divide all these things, all the elements here by a. So we have here x squared plus b over a x plus c over a equals to 0. And then the second step is we need to move this c. In here we have c on 2 to the right side, or in other words, we subtract both sides with c on a. So in here we'll have x squared plus b on a x here equals to minus c on a. Okay, the next thing, so that we can get the perfect squared easily, actually to both sides we're gonna add by half b squared. So in here we have b is b on 2, and if we take a half of that is b over 2a, and then we square it. Okay, and we add to both sides. So in here also we add b on 2a squared like this. Okay, the next thing, it's been easy for us to get the perfect square. Make the parentheses here and then put squared here, and then just take this x and also take this b on 2a, and then put a plus sign here, and then we rewrite this. Now we need to simplify this first. So in here actually we have minus c on a plus b squared over 4a squared. Okay, later on we're gonna multiply this denominator and numerator with 4a, so that we can have the common denominator here, or we can just solve that in here over 4a squared. We multiply this with 4a, so in here we have minus 4ac, okay, and then plus b squared. It is a familiar form like we have here. Okay, now let's continue. Because we want to take x on the left side, we want to put only x on the left side, so we have to get rid of this 2 here by what? Do you know? By taking the square root. Okay, let's take the square root of both sides. Okay, in here we'll have x plus b on 2a equals to the square root. Don't forget to put the positive minus here, and then I'm gonna make this arrangement to be similar with this. So I'll put b squared first, and then it is followed by minus 4ac, and then divide by 4a squared. Okay, I'm gonna continue. right here. Because we just want to leave x alone in the left side, so we need to move this b over to a by subtracting both sides with b onto a. So we have here x equals to positive and minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. Now I want to take out this 4a squared. This is squared. 4a squared from the square root. So it is 2a. And then minus b onto a. Okay, now one more last step is I just need to put all of this into one fraction. How to do that? It is easier because we have had the same denominator here. So we can write 2a, and then in here, I'm gonna put this minus b first. Minus b, positive and minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. Okay, now we have the same thing here with what we have had before here. This is the quadratic formula. Okay, later on the next video, we're gonna see how to use this quadratic formula to solve the quadratic equation.